human pressure on the environment exceeds the Earth's capacity to heal, much of which is attributed to the housing sector. In response, some people have begun to challenge conventional building methods with innovative, resourceful strategies. To find out more, we visited Brighton Earthship and spoke with Misha Hewitt of the Low Carbon Trust.
The inspiration behind the Earthship was that a number of people in Brighton and Hove just really were inspired by just the idea of Earthships and just everything they represent, the sort of freedom, the low carbon living. It's just nice just being in tune with nature, just knowing that your energy comes from renewable sources, from the sky, from the wind, and knowing that it's not being dug out of the ground and that there's no carbon emissions associated with it. The Earthship shows a number of different things that can be done in a home to make it live with a lighter footprint on the planet. The importance of eco-building now is probably as important as it has been ever. It's very simple. Something in the UK, something like 50% of our carbon footprint comes from the built environment. Things can be done in a better way, and the purpose of this project is to inspire people and to show people what's possible. Generally on all the courses we get a very good diverse range of people, some professionals, mostly just people that are interested in doing it for themselves, but it's just a space for them to come and learn new skills, whether it's building with straw, rammed earth, earthship, hemp lime, whatever it might be, they come here to learn these things.
It's really tough to make physical changes or use maybe what you've learned on a course and apply it to the home you're living in. We have a lot of builders come and talk about their inspiration from the course to go back and do these cool outbuildings. Instead of doing it with traditional materials they had intended, they're going to do it with glass bottle bricks or tire walls. It's hard to convince people to change what they're so confident with. And it's kind of like this massive cultural norm of everyone's quite proud of their skills as a bricklayer with cement, and they can slap those bricks up 1,000 a day or whatever. And so that's a culture. Every animal in the world builds their own houses, of a sort, and humans, I think, also have that calling or natural capacity to build your own shelter.
Traditional architecture in any culture is dictated by the things that are locally available. At the moment, the average person in this country lives as if there's 3 planets to provide their resources. Sustainability isn't just a buzzword. You've got to ask yourself, well, what can I do? Is it something about forming community, or is it about physically building something? So if you can find your thing that makes you feel alive and that's good for the planet, whatever small way it is, if everyone did that, then we'd all be all right. And that's actually quite easy and it's not overwhelming.
Some Brightonians have taken an active interest in reducing their ecological footprint through the design and construction of their own homes.
Yeah, the idea with eco-open houses is very, very simple. It's just about a social space where people can actually go and look at what's been done already. What we have is homeowners in their homes just explaining to people what they've done, what went right, what went wrong, what they might do again, and what they hope to do in the future. So people just love looking around and nosing around other people's houses. So it's fantastic to be able to open up the doors and people wander in and have a look around. So yeah, it's very well received.
We helped as volunteers with eco-open houses, and we kind of just thought that was what we wanted to do with our house.
And so we decided to do a retrofit. The house costs just over a quarter of what it cost before to heat, and yet we've increased its size by about a third. So it's a bigger house, but costing dramatically less to run.
Pioneers from the University of Brighton constructed the Waste House entirely from reused materials.
I originally spoke with Duncan Baker-Brown, who's an architect at the University of Brighton. My role really on the project was to try and source as much waste as possible to be reused as resource to construct the building. And so letting people come in and see the house and ask lots of questions means that they get a greater understanding of what they can do themselves. It is really important that we all feel empowered and we don't feel depressed or overwhelmed. So yeah, eco-open houses just kind of celebrates the positive, real things that we can all do, that make a difference. So yeah, it's a really valuable thing.
The launch of a brand new, fully sustainable eco-house illustrates people's willingness to take matters into their own hands.
The government tells us that it is not viable for homes to be built to a high sustainable standard, and so I think looking to the future we will be reliant on individual people who are inspired to still build to that standard to bring those features forward.
If we want a low carbon future, if we want a bright future, if we want a renewable future, a future where we can all live, sort of thrive and prosper, then that's where eco building is. It's a kind of signpost on the road really to a better future.